So from the topic prayer, no, we have to continue from prayer, no. Okay. So prayer, it is better to sit in the grey of the morning for meditation, or when that is not possible, at any fixed hour convenient to the Abhyasi. Do not feel disturbed with the outer things, but remain engaged with your own work, thinking that they are in a way helping you feel the necessity for greater absorption in your practice. So the prayer, you have read the prayer. So let's continue with the next page. One thing more by way of practice is to offer this brief prayer daily at bedtime in the most supplicant mood with the heart overflowing with divine love. Repeat the prayer in your mind once or twice and begin to meditate over it for a few moments. The prayer must be offered in a way as if some most miserable man is laying down his miseries with a deeply affected heart before the Supreme Master, imploring for his mercy and grace with tearful eyes. Then alone can he become a deserving aspirant. Now, many people ask how to become a deserving aspirant. See, he's written here. How to become a deserving aspirant is if this is how you offer the prayer, and this is the state that you are actually there at all times, established in this particular state at all times, then you will be deserving all the time. If you are deserving all the time, then you are reserving your place there all the time. I told you, no, somebody recently who had come to our meditation practice. Normally, what we put to reserve our seat, all of us are used to. What do we put?
Achif.
Kerchief. See, so natural. It's only in Indian culture we put kerchief. And this time, somebody who had come to our house for the meditation had put dupatta. And the funny thing was, it was the dupatta of the person who was not yet come. And I was also surprised. Where did you get hold of this dupatta? Then they said, no, 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 this dupatta has been sent to me for reserving this place. So I thought that was highly innovative. That means they are growing spiritually. They have moved from kerchief to dupatta, and even before they come, they have sent the dupatta for the place to be reserved. It's like you sending your spiritual entity to the brighter world before you actually arrive there, saying that please reserve my place here. I'll come and join. Huh? So first time I had an experience of that. Now this is growth, right? Growth in the material realm, but it also indicates some degree of eagerness about their intention to come for meditation. Eagerness to come and make sure that they have got the right place, and their presence is felt even before they arrive, right? So their presence is being felt, no? They have not even arrived, but their presence is already being felt and discussed. So anyway, Gopal Krishna, you want to say something? ಭರತ್ ನೀ ಏನೋ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕನ್ನೋ ದುಪ್ಪಟ್ಟದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲವಾ ಆಯ್ತು ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗೋಣ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಸಿ ದಿಸ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಗ್ರಾಫ್ gives you answers to some of the things that most of the aspirant asks. How to make ourselves deserving. So that last line that he said, the last sentence, the prayer must be offered in a way. No, he's combined almost everything there. It is offered in a way as if some most miserable man is laying down his miseries with a deeply affected heart before the Supreme Master, imploring for his mercy and grace with tearful eyes. Then alone can he become a deserving aspirant. So, in other words, if you want to make yourself a deserving aspirant, we should be in this prayerful state all the time. When we are in the prayerful state, you remember what is the prayer? Definition of prayer?
Connecting with the source within.
It's the connecting link between man and God. So if a person is in that prayerful state all the time, that connection with the divinity is maintained all the time. Not only it is maintained, it is also strengthened. So how to make ourselves deserving aspirant is utilizing the prayer. The more you are able to utilize the prayer, do the prayer properly, and be in the prayerful state. To the extent that you can be in the prayerful state, to that extent you make yourself deserving. Now, when you do the prayer properly, what is supposed to happen?
We feel the vacuum.
It's the vacuum. You feel the vacuum. When you feel the vacuum, what is supposed to happen after that?
Divine grace fills in.
Divine grace flows into the heart. See all these three things. So when you offer the prayer correctly, that strengthens the relationship with God. Then it creates a vacuum. When the vacuum is created, you get the divine grace automatically flow into the heart. And remember that this word automatic, it's a natural law that the divine grace will flow. It's not that somebody has to initiate it. It just happens. So our job is to trigger this natural law. How to trigger it? By making ourselves empty or creating that vacuum by praying in the right way. So this paragraph that you have just now read summarizes how you are supposed to do the prayer. Okay. There are many methods of loving God and many bhavas are resorted to paternal sentiment, friendly sentiment, etc. In my opinion, there can be no relationship better than that of a lover and the beloved. Now, if you read about the same thing in reality at dawn, he said there's no better relationship between a child and a mother. Now he's talking about beloved and the lover. If an Abhyasi thinks himself to be lover and takes God to be the beloved and proceeds with the same sentiment, the result will be that God himself will become the lover and the Abhyasi the beloved in the long run. But if one thinks that one has realized the goal at this stage, it will be a serious blunder. What remains further cannot be stated, for it is related to practice alone. Now, prayer remains the most important and the unfailing means of success. Please underline this. Dash remains, many people write constant remembrance, meditation, all these things. He's written here, prayer remains the most important and the unfailing means of success. Through it, we have established our link with the Holy Divine. The reason why prayer should be offered with a heart full of love and devotion is that one should create within himself a state of vacuity so that the flow of the divine grace may be diverted towards him. When the world emerged in the present form, the central point was already rooted deep in all the beings. This central point, rooted in us, being a part of the Supreme, turns our attention towards the source. In prayer, we try to reach up to the same central point. This is possible only when we create a similar state within. This requires practice. It can be attained by resigning ourselves to the divine will, which is absolutely simple and tranquil. Apparently, it seems to be very difficult, but in fact, it is not so, though only for those who aspire for it. Underline that. Those who aspire for the goal, for them, making themselves deserving is very easy because they're aspiring for the goal. Now, if you perspire for the goal, you are not making yourself deserving. What is perspiring? You not heard the word? Perspiring means sweating. When do you sweat normally?
Physical exercise.
Physical exertion. Physical exercise, physical exertion. You start sweating more. So there again, the prayer should be done without any effort. That's the whole point. So it should be easy for a person who is aspiring, but it will be difficult for a person who is perspiring. Perspiring means sweating. Sweating means you are putting physical effort into it. So the prayer also should be done effortlessly. Like you do meditation, the only thing where we actually put effort is which activity in our system where you have to put effort?
Cleaning.
Cleaning. So in effortful activity is cleaning. Meditation and prayer both are effortless activity. Okay. Now, when a man creates in him a strong craving for the absolute, he is indeed in a state of prayer, and it is for everyone to strive for. So you have to develop a strong craving for the absolute, for the reality, for the goal. Whenever man enters into that state, even for a moment, his prayer is granted. Underline that. When is the prayer granted? Automatically. When we enter into the prayer with a strong craving for the absolute, then our prayers are always answered. It never goes unanswered. Still less than 7 o'clock, sister. I can see that there is a watch there, there's a clock there.
No, brother.
They are so aware of the time. This is called as time consciousness. And now we want to go beyond time consciousness. In order to go beyond time consciousness, we are aware of the time.
Kitchen
But
is behind that wall, brother.
don't worry.
So
So I'm just
4 to 5 whistles coming from that side.
putting men are behind some kind of a whistle. Women are behind some kind of other whistle. But both are behind the whistle. Right? Anyway. So this is another question. When does the prayer go unanswered? It goes unanswered when you actually do the prayer with a strong sense of craving for the absolute. So if we are established in that state, even for a moment, the prayer will be answered. But it requires continuous practice to accomplish it. People should be exhorted to offer such a type of prayer. If one achieves this and settles down in it, then what else remains to be to him to do except remembrance? That too in a way that is never, it never comes into consciousness even. So from a prayerful state, you actually jump into the state of constant remembrance. Okay. So, so 2 or 3 questions you might get for the exams. When does the prayer go unanswered? When is the prayer impactful? All these things. Now, constant remembrance. Constant remembrance of God is, of course, a special feature in spirituality. The method of cultivating constant remembrance is to think with firm conviction during your leisure hours, whether in office or at home, in the street or in the market, that God is pervading all over and everywhere and that you are thinking of Him. Try to remain in the same thought as long as you can. You have one of the prayerful suggestions, right? You remember the prayerful suggestions? One of them is divine remembrance. Everything around me is immersed in divine remembrance. And if you practice this, then that's something that's going to help you in establishing yourself in state of constant remembrance. The minds of the people are absorbed every moment to thinking about the various problems of their material life, and their attention is seldom diverted towards God, except when they are in deep distress or misery. The reason that they attach primary importance to their worldly matters in the interests alone, which constantly remain in their view. Thus, they remain entangled within Maya without ever thinking of getting out of it at any stage. Frequent remembrance of God, though greatly helpful, is not all that we need for our final success in realization. We generally begin an important thing in the name of God, and it is customary in almost every religion to do so. But that's only a matter of formality and has no significance. We never dedicate the thing to God in the real sense. And at heart, we are in fact quite away from the idea of God. Remembrance of God, thus, is of no avail. So he is now differentiating between constant remembrance versus frequent remembrance. Now, whenever we start any new activity, we remember God. Now, that is frequent remembrance. But in the heart, we don't connect to the God. We just utter the mantra and then we just get on with it. Right? So, for example, you offer the thing to the God. So, one of our Abhyas is gone to Mantralaya. And what is it I have asked him to do? What is this?
Mantralaya Prasada.
Mantralaya Prasada. It is important to remember that every temple offers prasad. Don't forget this. Now, just because you don't feel like going to the temple frequently, don't feel deprived of eating the prasad. It's okay. Wherever the prasad comes from, whichever source the prasad comes from, please take it. It is for you only. God has sent the prasad for you. Okay. So, remember one thing. When we grow in spirituality, our frequency of visiting the temple will come down. But that should not be equated with the frequency of decreasing the eating the prasad. They are two separate things. Please remember that. ಆಯ್ತಾ ಭರತ್ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಈ ತತ್ವ ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ I had not known this formula. Then I will make sure that everything happens on but I'll tell you one thing. As you grow spiritually and you remember God, you will actually get more prasad. Because now God is sending you invitation. Please come to me. Earlier, because of your miseries, because of the difficulties that we pass through, we used to go in search of God. Now God will send prasad saying that please come. I'm waiting for you. And we refuse to go. This is what will happen in due course of time. Please remember. Now he cannot send the invite otherwise. He has to send something, no? You call somebody for marriage. How do you call them? ಹೇಗೆ ಹೋಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಏನೋ ಇನ್ವಿಟೇಷನ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ God will send his prasad as the invitation because he cannot send any other invitation. Right? So, if you are not going to the temples and if the prasad is coming in search of you, that's a good sign. Something has happened internally. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು But you cannot keep demanding people, you bring prasad, you bring prasad. That's not the thing. The prasad will come to you automatically. Okay? That's the thing. So frequent remembrance without when we do the constant remembrance, we are actually in touch with the divine essence all the time. Now, if you just do frequent remembrance at a surface level, that is not going to get you the prasad. If you want to have regular prasad, Bharat, I'm giving you a formula. You can practice this. It's especially important for you. If you want frequent prasads, you need to connect to the divine in the essence constantly. And that's why Babaji is writing constant remembrance. Now, nowadays, thought about it. A lot of people who are very much keen to go to different temples for having different prasads. And there are other people who go to Math to have different kind of a prasad. For all those people, I'm telling you a very simple formula. You be established in constant remembrance. All the prasads of different types will come in search of you. Right. And when other people go to Math, they not only eat, they also get something in what do you say, tiffin box and get it for you. That is what is going to happen in due course of time. They start taking care of you. Why are they starting to take care of you? They are starting to take care of you because you are perceiving the divinity within you, the essence form. Then that essence form will compel them to bring the tiffin from the mata back to you home. That is what is going to happen. Okay, that's another sign. Remember, If you stop going to Matha, the Matha will come in search of you. This is what Babuji said. Don't go to the forest and establish an ashram. Make every house an ashram. Don't go there. Make every house, convert your own house into an ashram. And that's what you are doing. ಸರಿನಾ? ಸೊ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಸಾದ್ ಮಠ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನೀನು ಯಾವ ಮಠಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವ? ಯಾವ್ದು ಹೋಗಲಿ. ನಾವು ಉತ್ತರ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಮಠಗಳಿದೆ.
ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ಸರ್, ಅದು ಬರ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತಾ
ಮುಂಚೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಉತ್ತರ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಠಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗದೆ ಇರೋರು ಯಾರಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರೊಬ್ರು ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಒಂದು ಮಠಕ್ಕೆ ತಗಲಾಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ.
ಮೊದಲ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ಸರ್, ಈಗ
ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಈಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ?
2 years ಆಯ್ತು.
ಮದ್ವೆ ಹತ್ರ ಬಂತಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. ಮಠಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ. ಮಠಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯ? ನನ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಇದೆ, ಇರು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಮಠಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ. ಮದುವೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮಠಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತ. ಅವಾಗ ರೀಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ದ ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಮಠ್ ಅಗೈನ್. ಅವಾಗ ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮಠಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು ಊಟಕ್ಕೆ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ಒನ್ ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಗಾಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಮಠ ನೋಡಪ್ಪ, ಅಲ್ವಾ? Anyway, it's also customary that there are certain times of or the age we go into matta, and there are other times during our aging process we naturally don't go into matta. That's because when our reason for which we are going to the matta is not going to be fulfilled, because the needs are different. So going to the matta is also a need, and we go there when we have a need for there, that our need will be fulfilled there. If our need is not going to be fulfilled, we are not going to go to the matta. And there are a lot of people who attach to the matta because of the need of the food, tasty food. Lot of people go to matta. Have you ever gone to any matta and seen people underweight? You will virtually see nobody underweight. Next time if you go to matta, you just go and observe this. Suddenly now he woke up. Bharat woke up and changed his lifestyle, the hairstyle. That's why I told you, everything is apparent and it is feelable, palpable. Anyway, the real significance of the custom is that we must remain in touch with the idea of the God in all phases of our mental and physical activities. We must feel ourselves connected with the Supreme Power every moment with an unshakable chain of thought during all our activities. It can be easily accomplished if we treat all our actions and work to be part of the divine duty entrusted to us by the Great Master whom we are to serve as best as we can. Some people think that constant remembrance or even frequent remembrance of God is not practicable when a man's life is surrounded by numerous worries and anxieties caused by worldly attachments and responsibilities. But practice and experience will prove to them that it is a very easy process and can be followed by any and everyone in spite of all the worries and engagements, only if they learn to divert their attention towards God in the real sense. So all that needs to happen is diverting our attention towards the heart. That's all that needs to happen. And very simple example for that is when you are walking, you are talking. When you are walking, you are thinking. In other words, you are existing at two different realms simultaneously. You are walking also, talking also, walking also, thinking also. While sitting here, Sudhasith is keeping an eye on the kitchen, no? Like that. As simple as that. If you can do two things at the same time, why not three things? Right? She is listening also, she is writing also, she is keeping an eye on the kitchen also. The number of whistles from the kitchen, that is also getting registered. And when we do the things in the kitchen for the first time, we don't take care of all these details. So yesterday, since my wife has gone to some other place for work, so myself and my daughter are the reins. We have taken over the reins of the house now. We are in charge. And last night, we put the milk to heat. And then I totally forgot to put it back into the fridge. Morning I wake up, are it's still there only on the stove. Then I realized how much attention is necessary. You need to keep an attention all the time. The first thing you do in the morning is just check what is happening in the kitchen. Last thing you do before you go to bed is just check what is happening in the kitchen. So constant remembrance of the kitchen should be there for the house to function. That's what I realized yesterday. And now I should become better today. So we'll see what happens today. So no wonder women feel that they're always engaged. When people come to hospital, no, we ask them, where do you work? They say, I don't work anywhere. But in fact, they are the one who are working all the time because they have to keep constant attention on the house. We are not bothered about the house. We just go out and then after we go out, we are least worried about the house. The thought of the house even does not come into our mind only, right? But that's not like for women. Wherever they go, they are constantly thinking about what is happening in the house, what they're supposed to do, what they're supposed to go do before, and then what they're supposed to do after coming back. Everything is going on in their mind constantly. Now, that's the easiest way to do constant remembrance. Like you remember about the house every day, all the time. If you remember, substitute the house with God, then constant remembrance is very easy for females. Serena. So it's far more easy for females than for men. Men take a bit more time because they never do anything constant remembrance of anything. Women do of the house and the kitchen. These two things they apply that already. So all that you need to do is divert it from house and kitchen to God. That's it. So tag the idea of the house and kitchen to God. Then you will get constant remembrance automatically. And that easy template for tagging is not there with men. Okay. Anyway, shall we proceed now? The idea of the Guru as a supreme divine force is very helpful in spiritual pursuit if the Guru himself happens to be merged in the ultimate state of realization. You depend upon his guidance, thinking him to be the superhuman being. If you go on with your busy routine of life, dedicating everything to your master, imagine what good will it bring to you in the long run. While doing a thing, think that you are not doing it yourself but for your master. Rather, think that master himself is doing it for himself. While at the breakfast table, you think that your master is breaking his fast. When you go to the office, think that your master is doing it all. While returning from the office, suppose you see an attractive dance on the way, your eyes are caught by the charming appearance of the dancer. Now, this dancer, you remember the name of the dancer in the one of the maxims? Who can remember? Not Gopal Krishna. I know Gopal Krishna will remember. Now, what is the name of the dancer in the maxims? Forgot. Huh? He's written 2, 3 pages regarding why, where we are, what has happened to us from the time we are born to where we are now. It's a story of Gopal Krishna. I know that you remember. You tell me,
Jamila.
Jamila. See, Gopal, Bharat, I would have thought that you would have remembered at least. So, ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೋ ಹೆಸರೇನು ಹೇಳ ಜಮೀಲ
Jamila.
ಹಾ ಜಮೀಲ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೋ ಸರಿನಾ you go back and read the story. It is in fourth maxim, right? You remember that now. I think probably you remembered it now. When you heard the word Jamila, you could remember it. It rings a bell. For all of you, it is ringing a bell after remembering. For Gopal Krishna, it is ringing a bell even without remembering. So good. So the story of Jamila, please read and reread that. This is exactly what has happened to every human being. Okay, that is what he is now talking about. While returning from office, suppose you see an attractive dance on the way and your eyes are caught by the charming appearance of the dancer. They also think that your master and not you is seeing the dance. Then also think that your master and not you is seeing the dance. You will at once lose curiosity for it because your master's power will begin to flow in you to relieve you of the temptation. When you come back from office, your children rejoice to see you after so many hours. You too enjoy the merriment, and it is but natural. Your attention for a while is diverted towards them, and you feel a bit away from the sacred thought. What you are to do then is to think that your master within is himself enjoying, and you shall be in touch with the same sacred thought again. If you are chatting with your friend, think that your master and not you is talking to him. While walking, think that your master is walking. Even during the meditation, if you entertain the idea that he is not you, but your own master himself is meditating on his own form, it shall bring about excellent results. Similarly, you can adjust yourself in all your routine of work. If you cultivate this feeling and maintain the outlook that your master is doing everything in your place, you shall not only be in constant remembrance all the while, but your actions will cause no impression whatsoever, and you will cease making further samskaras. So the trick to making the trick to stop making further samskaras is constant remembrance. Yeah. So trick to cease forming samskaras, trick to get the prayer answered all the time. So it will never go unanswered. That's the trick. Trick for the prayer to be effective is the state of vacuity. And the trick to be deserving aspirant is to use the prayer and be in a prayerful state. Remember that we spoke about it. Okay. Okay, we shall stop here. Any questions? From devotion, we shall continue. Hopefully, tomorrow we can finish this chapter, and after that, we can continue with the next chapter after that. Any questions, Bharat?